Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go ahead and blast off. They want to blast off, huh? This how we gonna kick it off. Oh yeah. You gonna want to share this one out. Guaranteed. You want some answers? Better tune in. You want some answers? Better tune in. You want answers? You better tune in. We ain't wasting no time. Straight to it. Peace and love to all the Moors, all the Muslims, all the Asiatics around the world. East Coast, down south, out west, up north. You know the rock up in here. South side, wild hunters. East side, crazy. Out west, up north. You know, low end, all that good stuff. So check this out, though. Hey, this what y'all paying attention to what's going on outside, right? You got fires. You got earthquakes. You got floods. I just seen a post today. I threw it up in my stories. The Bronx, they got a whole street out there flooded. A regular street flooded. Listen, have you ever read the Divine Warning written by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali? Do you own this book right here? If you don't, it's about that time. It's about that time. If you don't own this book right here, it's about that time to go out there and get one. It's about that time now. I mean, literally, it's up now everywhere. If you ain't familiar with this book, I'm leaving the camera on here so you can see. It's about that time to grab this book. Because a lot of the stuff, believe it or not, that are going on outside is because not only a lack of knowledge, the exercise of knowledge, but the language that we're using has been the crippler. Our own words coming out of our mouth is getting us in these jams. Getting us in these jams like how? By us out here doing stuff voluntary. It is voluntary ignorance. Let me know where y'all Moors is tuning in from. All y'all Asiatics. Let me know where y'all tuning in from and share this beam out. So I want to show y'all something right here. See this book right here? Shout out to Cosmo L. Look at this. Look at this right here. This word right here is voluntary, right? What's voluntary? Voluntary is unconstrained by interference, unimpelled by another's influence, spontaneous acting of oneself, done by design or intention, purpose, intended. What if I was to let y'all know and share with y'all, because I got real love for y'all, that the majority of the conditions and the mistreatment that go on with our people and the abuse that go on with our people, do you know that a lot of that abuse is attached to something known as the black codes? You know that? The abuse that our people get, it's attached to something called the black codes. If you got questions, hold up. If you got questions about what's going on with our people and nationality and birthrights and law and history, what's going on outside in the world right now, this is the beam out you're going to want to stay on. You're going to want to screen record. You're going to write some books down. You're going to want to do your own research. This is that beam out right now you've been waiting for. All right. That's this beam out right now. All right. Because we going to take it all the way there. We finna get into it. Share this out. So when you say, well, what is the black codes? Who are the citizens here? Why is the so-called black people, why they keep getting the shit end of the stick? Why? Why they keep seem like it's like a constant foot on the so-called black people neck? What our people don't realize collectively, because of the school indoctrination, these black organization indoctrinations, we don't realize that it's all voluntary. Every word that come out your mouth is voluntary. Nobody can make you say or do anything, but there's consequences to what you say. There's positive and negative effects off of words that come out your mouth. There's positive and negative effects. Whether you want to think it's, well, I could just say whatever I want to say. I could just do whatever I want to do. Yeah, you can. You got free will. You could do and say whatever and go wherever you want to go. But there's consequences to negative words that come out your mouth. See, people be thinking that magic is only something out the movies where somebody draw like a star, a pentagram on the ground. And they think that's and they they get some roots or something and they throw some hexes on you. That's not how words work. Words are also magic. See, you can't see words. See, this is the thing. A lot of our people have been indoctrinated to the point where even if they hear the truth spoken to them in their own mind, they think that the person in front of them is lying. They think that the person in front of them is trying to tell them who they are and try to tell them something that ain't gonna have no effect. See, when you come across people that's really sharing knowledge, they sharing light, they sharing information, you should really look. You do what you want to do, but in these times right now, it's chaos outside. So these are the times right now when you do come across somebody that's sharing real knowledge with you. You might want to take heed and say, let me just listen for a second. Before I say something, let me listen to what this person is saying, especially if they talking about law, history, they talk about nature, they talking about divine order, they talking about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These are the type of people you want to listen to. I ain't talking about somebody just telling you something they ain't never got no receipts. Like the Pan-Africans, like these black organizations. They don't have receipts. They don't deal with law. They don't deal with history. They don't deal with nature. They just deal with, let's march. Let's pray. Let's light some candles up. That ain't solving nothing. Don't y'all get it? Lighting candles, doing fundraisers and holding donations and marching down the street. That ain't doing nothing. Bringing the pastor out to preach to the people. That ain't working. None of that is working. Doing these, we're going to hold some prayers in a moment of silence. It's not working. So it's time to switch up and do something different, like deal with law. Look, let's go right here with it. Let's go right here with it. Check this out. So, how do you get human rights? How do you get reparations? You can't get reparations unless you come with a nation. This is where the Nation of Islam fall at. This is where the Pan-Africans fall at. This is where these so-called American Indians fall at. And all these black organizations, this is where they fail. They don't deal with human rights. Because in order to deal with human rights, you have to come with a nation behind you. A nation behind you. That means you got to have an actual landmass that you come from. You got to rep an actual place. Pan-Africa is not a place. It's a theory. Black organizations, that's not a place. That's a theory. These are actual places, names, land. Without this, you claiming nothing. You can't say that you're an Indian and the Americas has never been called India. Never. That's why these people get pushed to the reservations, because they agreed to be Indians. And the land clearly says North America, Central America, South America. You don't see Indian over here. You don't see Pan-African over here. It don't exist. And that's been a problem. So let's talk about some solutions. Let's talk about some solutions real quick. Check it out. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. Hold up. Let me bring it up right here. Let me bring it up right here. Keep your eyes on this right here, though. Human rights, right? You can't get human rights talking about you a color man. You a black person. You a person of color. You don't get human rights. All right? You're not going to get human rights like that. So you just cut it out. It's not going to happen. And that's been the problem. So let's talk about some solutions. Can you see this right here? Hold up. Can y'all see this right here? Hold up. I put a post up with this hyper European on there talking about nationality, right? You know how it's crazy how now people like European hybrids, they out here talking about nationality. And this is what our people don't understand. We got to start getting into law. This is the answers. Look. Let me go over here. Hold up. Let's go right here. This is why we got to get into law. Because y'all see the fires. Y'all see the cities burning down. Y'all see Hollywood actors and actresses. You see them running for the hills, catching jets, getting up out of here, right? What did Prophet Noble Drew Ali say in the 1920s? He said, by you being born here doesn't make you a citizen. What does that mean? That means all these people that you call so-called white people, they're not Americans. But you keep calling them American because you keep calling them a white man, or you keep calling them a white girl. This is where voluntary ignorance come into. People are voluntarily today being ignorant, completely ignorant. By being born here doesn't make you a citizen. Negroes, blacks, and colored people are names given to slaves during the time of slavery. So if you identifying as a black person, a person of color, a Negro, and the crazy thing is, when you call yourself black, you really calling yourself a negro, because black in Spanish is negro. Negro in Spanish is black in English. This is the crazy part. Color person. How can you look? This is something that we got to get out here. Let me ask y'all something. Do it make sense to call yourself a color that your skin don't match? Like, how stupid is that now? With all this information that's available outside, how retarded is it to call yourself a crayon color that your skin don't match? Is your skin black? Is this your skin? No, it's not. But it's a deeper level to that. Look, this is the deeper level to the color thing. See, this is the deeper level, because once you bring up law, once you go to law, again, if you ain't got this book, it's about time. What you waiting for? If you ain't got this book by now, what you waiting for? It's about that time. It's about that time. Look. Right here. What'd he say? Go, because people will be like, I went to the law book and I didn't see black in there. I didn't see black up in there. No, this is why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we are not Negro, black, or colored. All y'all out there that wonder, why do so-called black people get mistreated? Here's your answers. This entire beam out, I'm ethering everything about that. This is how it works. All right? This is exactly how it works. When you call yourself a colored person, this is what happens. First off, you lose your human rights. As soon as you say that you're a black man, you're a black woman, you lost your human rights. They gone. It's over with. All right? Then, once you say that you're a color person, this is what happens. Colorable. Let's go to color. Remember Noble Drew Ali said what he said, right? He said, look, Negroes, blacks, and colored people are names given to slaves during the time of slavery. Now watch this. Once you say, this is how it goes. Once you say that you're a color person, not my opinion, this is according to law. All right? In law, once you said you was a color person, you then gave up your human rights. And this is the trickle down effect. You've denationalized yourself. Therefore, you have no human rights. When you say that you're a person of color, what does color mean in law? Color is an appearance, semblance, or simulacrum, as distinguished from that which is real. So, in layman terms, once you said that you was a person of color, You were a colored man, a colored woman. Once you said that, instantaneously, you became not real. That's how I go. Just like that. It don't go no other way. As soon as you said, I'm a man of color, I'm a woman of color, you just died right there. Instantly. Instantly, you just died. But see, what died right there was your status as a living, breathing being. That's what just died because you voluntarily said that you were a person of color. See, this is why it's word magic. All right, hold up. This is why it's called word magic. I'm showing y'all in real time. This is why it's called word magic. You don't need no roots on the ground, no dust, no pentagrams on the ground to conduct word magic. All right, it's the law of the universe. This is why we study all law, Allah. We study words because words are power. And if you don't know how to use the words, you're going to put yourself in an invisible cage. That's what's happening to so-called black people. So-called black people are voluntarily putting themselves in invisible cages. This is where the mistreatment come from. This is where the abuse come from. This is where the killings come from. This is where the hatred for each other comes from. It stems off the word. First was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. It's wild how many people be reading the Bible, but you tell them this, that words have effects, positive and negative. They look at you like you crazy. You know what I'm saying? On God, they not a race. So look at this. So we talking about color. How do so-called black people get put into the black code? How do they get put into the black code? This is how. It's voluntary. Your words out your mouth. You said you was black. You said you was a person of color. So once you did that, you said that you're not real. Nah, this is where it get crazy at. That's where your words out your mouth, right? Look, this is what happened after that. So once you said you was a color person, right? Now you died. Right there. Your political status died. Right there. Okay? Come down here. You come down here to color of authority. What's that? Color of authority is the semblance or presumption of authority, sustaining the acts of a public officer, which is derived from his or her apparent title to the office or from a writ or other process in his hands, apparently valid and regular. What does that mean? That means these people right here, once you said you was a color person, you put yourself in a box. You put the rope around your neck. Now, color of authority comes into play. You see? Who is color of authority? Who is going to enforce color of authority? You guessed it. These guys right here. You guessed it. You see, the rabbit hole get deep. So once you said you was a color, a person of color, you put the rope around your neck, right? Now, they can regulate on you. They can move on you with fake authority. These guys, Slave Patrol and the origins of the police in America. So you out here saying, I'm a black man, I'm a black woman, I'm proud of who I am. You don't even know how incompetent you sound, how ignorant you sound. Once you said you was this, now these people gonna move on you. These people right here gonna move on you with color of authority. This is how they work, they operate. Then what they're using with this whole color thing is they're using color of law. See, this is the appearance or semblance without the substance of legal right. Peace, more. This is how they do it. First, you said you was a person of color. You was a black man. You was a black woman. You was an African American, right? You melanated, right? Soon as you said that, you put the rope around your neck. This is how it really works. After that, they got a color of authority. They move them on you. Right? This is what they do. They move them on you. This is why police, when they stop us, they always say, you fit the description. The description of what? Of a colored person. You fit the description of a colored person. This is why they always say, you fit the description. The description of what? Once they start talking like you fit the description, they're talking about color of law. People that have human rights don't have these problems. These are the problems that so-called black people keep having because they're not looking at it at this type of level. And we know why they're not looking at it on this type of level, because of the indoctrination from the school system. This is why they're not looking at it on this level. Islam, life and death is in the tongue. Do you understand? So once you start noticing that your words have positive and negative effects on this planet and in the universe, things will change in your life because you are what you attract. This is how it keep happening to so-called black people. You want the answers? Here it is. Now, what happens? What happens with color of law? What happens with color of law is this. They put you in something called the black codes. What are the black codes? Let's go up here. The phrase minority group is commonly used in regards to the civil rights movement. Now remember, the civil rights movement was struck down 3 times by the Supreme Court. 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the Supreme Court is the supreme law of the land, the Supreme Court in the land. So what's the supreme law of the land? The supreme law of the land is the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and treaty law. But nah. You don't want to deal. Most people, the majority of people, they don't want to deal with that. They just think it's just the color of my skin. Looking ass. You talking about, I just want to be a colored person. Let me show you what colored persons get in law. All right, you ready? Brace yourself. This is why Noble Drew Ali was the mastermind. He is the mastermind. This is why he told us in his hadiths and prophecies, Negroes, blacks, and colored persons are names given to slaves during the time of slavery. Are you paying attention? You want some remedies? You better start listening to people that's talking that law talk, not that emotional talk. They don't like us because the color of our skin. That's why they doing it to us, goof ass. So if you say that you a color person, right? Check it out. This applies to Negros, persons of African race, including... What's up, Baba? You okay?
No.
What's the matter?
I wanted to stay up there.
Okay.
I wanted to do something goofy and hop straight in front of my face.
What time is it? Huh? 9:30?
Yes.
Okay, you can stay up. Go up there and keep that noise all the way down. Okay? Love you. Okay. So when you say you're a color person, this is what happens in law. It has also been held that there is no legal, technical signification to the phrase, quote unquote, colored person, which the courts are bound judicially to know. This is a case. Pascal versus Dow's. That's an actual case. You can look that up. You can look that case up. Hold up. You can look up this case. So, see, the ignorance is voluntary. You can't make somebody say nothing. You can't make somebody do nothing. You can't make them do it. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So you can't make nobody say or do nothing. But what you can do is you can share the information. If they brain not too tied up into cognitive dissonance, which is they stuck in a belief system, then you can build with them. But if they stuck in cognitive dissonance, there's nothing you could do with them. You can have all the love in the world for them. But if they stuck in that, I ain't trying to listen to what you saying, it's a conspiracy theory, you got to leave them where they at. You could love them from a distance. It's cool. But they got to learn the hard way. See? So what have we learned so far? When you call yourself a colored person, Negro, African American, person of color, Pan-African, melanated, Indian, and all that, Hebrew, which is really a language, you put the rope around your neck. Now, after you put the rope around your neck, now you come down here, now they're going to squeeze the rope using color of law. They're going to start squeezing. When they talk about, I can't breathe. Remember that little line they were saying? I can't breathe. Yeah, I know you can't breathe because you called yourself a color person. Color persons ain't got no rights here. You ain't got human rights. You got civil rights. They could take your civil rights away at any time. Just like they could take away that driver license. They could take away all that because you agreed to be a color. That's how they doing it. So when you say, well, what else they do? How do they do it? You called yourself a color person. They put the rope around your neck. Now, to start squeezing the rope around your neck, they use these people right here. They're using slave patrol, who really are the police. Peace, more. Slave patrol started, man, the police. Islam. One more time. Slave patrol started the police. The police started as slave patrol. They don't care about so-called black people. They don't care about persons of color. Their job is to lock up, incarcerate, kill, murder anybody who agrees to be in this system. The system is called color of law. Bing fucking bang. That's the system. So how do they do it? How do you get out of this system? In order to get out of this system, you have to recognize this system is designed for anybody who agrees to be a person of color. This is the system. It's not broken. The system is designed to incarcerate anybody who agrees to be a person of color. This is what the attorneys, all these attorneys know what time it is. They're not going to tell us that, though. All these people up there wearing them black robes, they know what time it is. You know how much bread they can make? They make every day off not sharing this information. You think for a second that none of these attorneys like Benjamin Crump and any of these high profile attorneys, you think they don't know this? You wild. You wild if you don't think they know this. They all know this. But see, they took an oath to the Bar Association. So they're not going to tell us that. No, sir. Why would they tell us that? Why would they tell us that? See, now we about to take it a little deeper. Hold up. Let's take it a little deeper. When you do say you a so-called person of color, now you an artificial person. See, you might be like, what the hell is what's an artificial person? An artificial person? What's that? Yeah? You said, what's an artificial person? Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's just do it together. Hold up. Let's just do it together. All right. Artificial persons. Let me throw some ink on that. Let me throw a little ink on that. Now, keep in mind, these ain't my words. This is coming out of Henry Campbell's Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Ancient and modern jurisprudence. These are not my words. Just show you the receipts. Definitions of the terms and phrases of American and English jurisprudence. Ancient and modern, so they can't get out of it. It's ancient and modern. So there's no escape. They can't be like, man, that Black's Law Henry Campbell dictionary, that ain't the real dictionary. How it ain't the real dictionary when it say on the cover, it say on there ancient and modern. Now what you talking about? This is what these are little wannabe slick niggas that be talking like that. Nah, it don't apply to us right now. What? You crazy? Everything applies right now, especially this. What so-called persons of color. You wondering how the police keep getting away with killing us. You wondering how the police keep getting away with putting boots on our neck. This is how they do it. Artificial persons. Persons created. It's a persons created and devised by human laws for the purpose of society. And hold up, let me do that over. Artificial persons, persons created and devised by human laws for the purpose of society and government, as distinguished from natural persons. Oh my God. Yo. What? You say what? Artificial persons are anybody who chooses to be a so-called colored person. You're an artificial person. Why is that dangerous? Because you are distinguished from natural persons. So therefore, since you agree to be artificial as a color, you agreeing to not have human rights. You're also agreeing to have a birth certificate, a driver license. It's all voluntary. You dead out here. So when you say, well, why is it so dangerous then? What you mean? Because corporations are examples of artificial persons. This is how they doing it. Look, man. Look, we gonna go ahead and take it there. We gonna go ahead and take it there. Hold up. We gonna go ahead and take it there. Hold up. This is what we gotta start getting on right here. If you tired of the mistreatment and the abuse, go to those that know law. If you ask them under an intelligent tone, they'll be glad to give you a favorable reply. Just like the prophet Noble Drew Ali said in the Divine Warning. What we don't be doing, we don't be going to people that know law. We go to people that can get us emotionally on charge. That's what we be going to. These are the people that got these like millions and millions of followers. And we think like, or people be thinking like, since they got millions and millions of followers, they must be out here legit. They must be out here talking that real shit. They must be out here telling the truth. No, sir. If they was, then how come so-called black people, they got the NAACP, they got BLM, they got the NOI, the FOI, they got Pan-Africans, they got all these black groups. They got fraternities and sororities. Then how come they ain't got no kind of resolution? Why they still got a boot on their neck? Why? Because these people are not dealing with law. They're not dealing with nationality. They're not dealing with land, air, and water jurisdiction. They dealing with, if it feel good, then I'm with it. If it don't feel good, then I ain't gonna listen to it. This is the problem. But the solutions are right here. Share them out. Share them out though. And look, let me show you. Show you what I'm talking about. There are 4 different classifications of status. All right. 4 different classifications now. This is what we get caught up at. Look. What is status? Status ain't about your drip. Status ain't about your car, your truck, your motorcycle, your house. That's not status. Your job, that's not status. That is not quality of character of a status. Status is the legal standing of a man or woman in accordance with their national allegiance and creed. It is the first rule in law, and it sets the stage for jurisdiction, which is the basis for either prosecution or dismissal, adjudication. This is what the Asiatics of the North and the South This is the unity. Because people will be like, man, Kush, man, what you mean, man? We want to unify. We want to unify with y'all and see what y'all Moors is doing. The problem with that is you don't have a nationality. So anybody without a nationality, you don't have human rights. So nobody with human rights is going to say, I'm going to go over there with y'all. Why would I leave my human rights and my nationality to say I'm going to go over there with y'all and unify with the dead? It just don't make sense. This is why Noble Drew Ali said what he said. Just because you born here, it don't make you a citizen. Our people are born here. This is our homeland. But we didn't got tricked over the years by these same so-called black sellouts that keep telling you, it don't matter what you call yourself. You could label yourself anything. You could say you anything. You melanated. Yeah, you just say you melanated. Afro-American. Goof ass. Those ain't nationalities. You don't get human rights with those. Those are slave labels. And you know what's crazy? Look, this was wild. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. There are 4 classifications of status. We didn't went over status now. All right. Where you at? Hold up. Classifications of status. Hold up. Let's go. What does it say? The first status is the highest status. That's the national. The highest ranking member of a society. These are natural, primitive inhabitants of the land. Is this you? If so, then declare your nationality. This is what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was saying. If you don't do anything else, declare your nationality. Why did he say that? Because if you are a national of the land, the Americas, this is why we're Moorish Americans, because we are the descendants of Moroccans and born in America. The last name on record for our people is Moorish American or Moor or Moroccan. You understand? So when you say, what is this going to do for us? Look, what is it going to do for us? This right here. Hold up. This right here. This is what it's going to do for us. It's going to take this police boot, that billy club, them guns that they be using, it's going to turn it off for us. Because we not dealing in their legalized system, which is legalese. We not dealing with color of law. We're not dealing with color of authority no more. We not dealing with colorable at all. We dealing with nationality and human rights, birthrights. You want answers, it's going to be ugly because all your beliefs are going to be destroyed. Because if they ain't backed up by no facts, what you holding on to them for? Especially if you out here talking about, I want justice, I want peace. You ain't going to get no justice or peace identifying as a color person. It ain't never going to happen. Get it out your head. It ain't never, ever gonna happen. But the choice is yours, though. You can believe anybody out here talking about, it don't matter. You can just say you a black man. Yeah. Google when the NAACP was founded. Just Google it. Google when that was founded. 1909? 1904? So you trying to tell me for 100 some years, they got all these so-called black organizations and ain't none of them got a solution? None of them? Man, stop it. So what's the second thing? Second is a naturalized citizen. These are those who came here and became citizens through the naturalization process, not to be confused with nationalization. This is where we got to get clear. We need clarity right here. Right here. Just because somebody was born here does not mean that they're a citizen. What kind of citizen are you? Are you a national? Are you naturalized? Are you a subject or are you an alien? 4 different classifications of status. See, our people, the trick has been to get the Moors over here in North America to think that and accept everybody that come to America as their own. No, sir. They're not Moorish American. They're not from these lands. Then they're not American. Period. They're not American. So anytime you say one of these people, let's just go to somebody. Let me just see. Let's say this guy right here, right? Okay. For example, this guy right here. Okay? Glenn Beck. This for example. He's not American. Any of these people that come here or they were born here, they're not American. This is why our people keep continuously dropping the ball. You keep calling these people American and you keep calling them white people. They are neither. They're not white. They're not American. The true American are the Moorish Americans. Those are the true Americans. We the only ones that can lay a claim on this land that it could be substantiated by facts, evidence, artifacts, pyramids, architecture, any words, language, anything, clothing, anything, food, whatever, nature, wherever you want to go. Moors got this on lock. All right, look. So when you say, well, who are these people then? Who are these people right here? These people, they're not Americans. They have never been naturalized either. So what are they then? These people, they're aliens here. Do you understand? They're aliens here. These are the foreigners here. Anybody that comes here, or if they were born here, if they can't trace their ancestors back to these lands right here for multiple generations, I'm talking about your grandma, your mama, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, your great-great-great-grandmama, and all them. If they can't trace their lineage back to that, they're not American. They can't make a claim here. And when you say that you an Indian, you also saying the same thing as you ain't got human rights. Because this ain't India. Never has the Americas been called India. It's always been America, the land of the Moors, the land of the pyramids, the land of milk and honey. That's the Americas. Why do you think it's a pyramid on here? Fam, it's time to start using critical thinking. If this was the land of the Indians and the Indians was here first, common sense. Why was there a pyramid on here and not a teepee? Just start using common sense now. Why is there a pyramid on this right here and not a teepee that the so-called Indians live in? Why? Just make it make sense. If you look up the word pyramid in the Latin language, it's going to tell you that the word M-E-R is more. Mer is Kemetic. English, mer is more. I mean, what we talking about? What we talking about? Hold up. You need a receipt on that. Yeah, see, you need a receipt on that to make it make sense. No problemo. No problemo. You need a receipt on that. The Kemetic language, you say more, you say mer. The English translation of mer is more. And see, it's these black miseducators out here. They keep talking. More, it came from the Greek. That's cap. More didn't come from the Greek. And the first Greeks, anyway, was dark complexion Moors. This is where the cap dies at. The first Greeks were not these people. Even though Hollywood and Hollyweird, they make it look like In Gladiator and all of them movies back in the day, they make it look like, with the power of cinema, with the power of TV shows, they can make it look like anything. But contrary to the belief system, the ancient Greeks, first of all, these people are not ancient. These people are modern hybrid Europeans. They're not ancient people. The first Greek people looked like us. They were dark complexion, olive complexion, tawny complexion, swarthy complexion. They were Moors. I'm talking about the first Greeks. Because they love saying, the Greeks, they named the Moors. That's cap. And the first Greeks look like Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? The Greek freak. That's how our people looked in Greece. Perfect example. The first Greeks were various complexions out there looking like Giannis Antetokounmpo. English translation for myrrh is more. Look it up yourself. Look it up yourself if you want another receipt. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the black codes. You ever heard of this guy right here? You ever heard of this guy, Dred Scott? What's up with Dred Scott? What it say about Dred Scott? It say so-called black people have been in a minority state since Jim Crow. A minority state? Jim Crow laws have the origin in the black codes. Likewise, black code have their origins in the slave codes. Whoa. Wait. Hold up. So you trying to tell me that the so-called Jim Crow laws really got their origin in the black codes, but the black codes got their origins in the slave codes. So what does that make anybody who identifies as a person of color? That means you could get picked up because the police, they the slave patrol. Oh shit. The slave patrol are the police? Yes. The modern day slave patrol are the police in America. Bing fucking bong. And when you misidentify as a color, they already put you by your own consent. You're in a minority mindset. The root word in minority is minor, meaning the legal age of the person before adulthood. A minority group is a sociological category, not a social group. It applies to categories of persons who hold few positions of social power. This category is determined by the social majority or those who hold the majority political and social power in society. So look at the dangers of misidentifying as a person of color, a black woman, a black man. Not only are you putting a noose around your neck, you also saying that you don't have the mental fortitude or capacity or knowledge to identify as the majority. You identifying as a minor, meaning you got the mind of a child. You have the mind of an infant, even if you're an adult. Once you say with your big ass ego, I'm a black man, I'm a proud black man, I'm a proud black woman. As soon as you left that come out your mouth, you just died. Your political status just died. I'm gonna show you how, because they might think this is like made up. They think like this is like made up. This is real, fam. This is real. You need to get familiar with this word right here. See, our people, through miseducation with the school system and the propaganda, our people don't realize how deep the indoctrination goes. It's 25 now, fam. Fires on the West Coast, flooding on the East Coast. I don't know if y'all know, but it just snowed down there in Atlanta. It was a blizzard down there. Do you see what's happening around the world? Allah is not pleased at all. Is not pleased at all. So let's take it a little further. We go to the law book. Did you know that death has two sides? So when you call yourself a so-called colored person or a black person, this is what you're doing. You're initiating a chain of deadly intent on yourself. So you could say it's a self-inflicted injury. Look, this is what happens. You put yourself in a death trap. Damn, what's a death trap? A structure or situation involving imminent risk of death or a place apparently safe but actually very dangerous to life. Because we'll look at it like this. Man, I'm up. I'm alive. I'm doing good. I got bread in my pocket. I got bread in the bank. I got my babies is cool. I'm straight. Ain't nothing going on. I got a house. I got a nice little car, decent little job. Look what just happened in Cali out there. Look what just happened with all them so-called black celebrities that stay out there. They let their cribs burn. And they supposed to be multimillionaires. Even they not exempt under the black thing. They just think about the gravity of this situation. Anybody that's out here identifying as a person of color, you're in the death trap. You're not exempt. And each day by day, it's gonna start getting uglier and uglier for anybody playing the game. They might know the knowledge, but you playing around. You not being genuine. You not being true because you know what time it is. Now, I'm not telling you if you know what time it is that you try to force somebody to know. Nah, that ain't what it's about. People have free will. Deal with the ones that's on the same type time that you want. You can only show somebody the door. You can't make them open the door. You can't make them drink the water. You can't make them eat the fruit. You could show it to them. You could give them I'll give you a little couple little bars or something, but I ain't on that with you like that because I already see if I tell you this about what's going on, you're going to take that as an attack, an assault on who you are as a person. That ain't even what it's about. But this is how deep the indoctrination has been with our people for multiple generations. Even when you telling people the right thing, you telling them the truth, you giving them the light, you giving them the information. If they reject it, they reject it. But one thing for certain, they can't say they ain't get told. Let them think about it. Give it to them. Let them think about it. Then walk off. Slide on them. Let them go ahead and let it process. But a lot of people don't realize the death trap, G. It's a death trap. So once you said that you were a person of color, you went into the Jim Crow, you went into the black codes, which in turn put you in the slave codes. This is what happens. Then you go right here and say, well, what you mean? I thought what you talking about death for? Because in law, death has two sides. First, your body dies. That's one side. Your heart stopped pumping. That's just one side of death. The second side of death is known as civil death. The state of a person who, though possessing natural life, has lost all his or her civil rights. And as to them, is considered as dead. You dead out here. Without a nationality and a birthright claimed, you dead out here. If you out here talking about, I'm a white man. You a white man. Yeah. A hybrid European out here talking about they white, they civilly dead too. You Pan-African, you a melanated person for an identity. You an Indian for an identity. You civilly dead out here. You ain't got no human rights. None. Don't matter what you say. It don't matter how hard you believe it. You dead out here. Don't matter what you talking about. Learn law or get left. Because that's what's going on. So, that part right there. Now, you come back to what's the status? What's the status going to be? Moorish American nationals have the highest ranking membership in society as far as members. Their rank in society is the highest. So when you say that you a person of color, this is what you said. When you said you was a person of color, check it out. This is what you just did. Moorish American nationals are the top of the top, cream of the crop, the highest on the land. When you said you was black and a person of color and the Indian and the Pan-African, this is what you just did. You went to be a subject. What's a subject? This is where subject citizens and corporations, USA, US, Union States, the state of, and corporate people rest there as well. Blacks, coloreds, Negroes, Spaniards, etc., etc. Damn. So why would you say you want to be this? You want to be treated with a boot on your neck? Shot in the street? Dragged out your house? Dragged out your car? Talked to crazy? Giving you football numbers in the courtroom? Why would you want that kind of treatment? That kind of abuse? Why? Versus over here, you the highest ranking member of society. And guess what? It's your birthright. You born with this birthright. You're born with this birthright. You're born with this birthright. This is the book right here with the law in there. This book right here. This is the 4th edition. Get this right here. This whole beam out, we finna ether everything about why our people keep getting treated so bad, so poorly. Why? It's because of lack of knowledge and a lack of application of that knowledge. So what's the slave codes? The slave codes don't apply to Moorish American nationals. They only apply to persons of color. Let me give you an example about what this hybrid European, and these times right here have been prophesized already. Look, these times have already been prophesized, and they come into fruition right now. Check it out. Look at this.
Citizen, if you think you're taxable, you're damn right, you're going to be. And that's why I was like, whoa, they got
When this gentleman says he's not a U.S. citizen, what he's referencing, guys, is his nationality. Now, I don't know his nationality. He could be from the republic he was born in. He could claim Moorish through treaties. There's different ways to claim your nationality. But when you do claim your nationality, that corrects your political status from that of a citizen. And you might say, Kenny, what does that matter? I want to be a citizen. Oh, do you? Let me show you. Check this out. United States business. 15 USC 4724. That's the United States Code. The term United States business means a United States citizen. Citizen. You think, well, what does that matter? So what? I'll be the business. Well, you actually are the business. You're pledged at birth to pay the debt for the Federal Reserve. You might say, what debt? Let me show you. Not only that, this symbolizes, you see how they put the footprint? Everybody knows they take the child's footprint. Nobody knows the symbology of it. Whenever they take the sole of the baby's foot in black, it's symbolizing to take the soul of the baby. So a deal was struck in 1913. Instead of the American people having their own money, a new private company, a private bank. This Federal Reserve is actually not federal. It's called an independent agency of government. That's its official title. This independent agency of government prints the money and loans it to your politicians. You see, your politicians write the bills, and these...
Noble Drew Ali the prophet said this right here. We talking about the prophecies and hadiths, which are coming into fruition every day, day by day. What did he say? Watch the newspapers, listen to the radio. I'm going to make the European tell the truth. And you got a hybrid European telling you about nationality. Ain't it wild? The times that we living in is crazy. Yo. The times that we living in is wild as hell. Hybrid Europeans out here telling you the truth? Look at this. Hold up. What times are we living in? Times we living in is this. The people who are 30 trillion in debt are giving us a credit score. Now, how does that make sense? Just push the pause button and just make it make sense to yourself. How can a U.S. corporation who owe 30 trillion tell us, hey, you can't get this house. You can't get this car. You ain't got a good credit score. What? I ain't got a good credit score. Nigga, you 30 trillion in the hole. What you mean I ain't got a good credit score? Yeah. What? Is you out your mind? You must be out your damn mind. You think that y'all could tell us about a credit score and what we supposed to go by. This is why this is why nationality is the order of the day. This is why learning law is the order of the day. Because without knowledge of the law, you dead out here. You got no human rights out here. Especially if you out here talking about you a black man, you a black woman, you a person of color. You artificial. You in the death trap already. Whole time, look. Take it to this little book right here. See this little shorty right here? I was reading this to my babies, right? Where do I wear water wings, right? Now, shorty right here, he got to be like 5 or something. 5 years old, 6 years old, right? I'm reading this to my babies today. Look at this right here. In the back of this book, they got a glossary. So this is for 5 to 6 year olds. Okay, that's the level that this is on. Adjectives. What are adjectives? This is the trap that we get pulled into with this self-identity thing. We get pulled into the trap. You'd be surprised how many people are misinformed out here who think they got college education and all this PhD education. You think that they really will be having intelligence. But it's crazy how the most educated people are the most indoctrinated people. They really got propaganda in their head. Adjectives. An adjective describes something. That's what an adjective is. This little baby right here is not black. He's not black. His skin complexion, if we was just talking about skin complexion, he's brown. He's copper complexion. He's not a black boy. This is how crazy it is. Adjectives describe something. Now, he has on a black shirt, a tank top. He himself is not a black boy. You see, we got to start going back to common sense. All right. Common sense. Now, you go to this word right here. Nouns. What is a noun? A noun is a person, place, or thing. See? Person, place, or thing. This young Moore right here, he's a natural person. So he has a natural name. He has a nationality. Like everybody else on the planet got. He's not a black boy. He's not a colored boy. He's a young Moor. That's who he is, with a nationality. He's a Moorish American national. The highest ranking member of a society. That's what he is. These people right here, you don't hate these people right here. These people got nationalities too. Whether it's Polish, Irish, Welsh, Scandinavian, Slovakian, Russian, wherever it is. Irish, German, they have nationalities. They are not white people. I cannot emphasize this enough with our people. You really think you saying something when you keep misidentifying these people as white people. You sound like an idiot. You sound completely incompetent when you say that. And everybody who know, they know what you sound like. You just don't know. But it's time to know. Drop the ignorance, the arrogance, and the ego. Because it just don't make sense no more. They got nationalities like everybody else do. Like everybody else do. They got nationalities. And keep in mind, I was reading this book right to my babies today. This is a children's book. This is a children's book. So we got to we have to teach our children and remind our children and remind ourselves everything works off of law, human rights. Look at this cover. Look at this. We supposed to be teaching our children this when they're babies. When they're young babies. We supposed to be teaching our children about human rights. Not crayon colors and black and white and yellow. That shit sounds so retarded now. It's irritating to hear educated people who really got education and intelligence talk so stupid. It's just dumb. We got to get out of that now. It's time, G. It's time to really get up out of that because it just sounds so stupid. You calling somebody a crayon color that their skin don't match. So how would you call this little boy black when he brown and he got a tank top on that's black? You see how retarded that is and disrespectful that is and completely incompetent that is? It's time to grow up out of that, man. It's time to really grow and develop. That's what time it is. So if you don't grow in development, you can't blame nobody but yourself. Because keep in mind, it's all voluntary. It's all voluntary. There are no yellow people on the planet. There are no, brown people, black people, white people. Everybody on the planet has a nationality. They're from some land on the planet. Everybody. And they all have one thing in common. They all got human rights. Now, if you don't want to exercise your human rights and you want to keep staying on stupid, talking about you an Indian and a Native American and a person of color and a black man and a black woman, if you want to stay on that type of time, stop complaining about how you getting mistreated. Stop complaining about how you getting abused out here because you the one that voluntarily don't follow the law. Period. And don't be afraid to be yourself. Be yourself. What other thing is it better to be? Be yourself. This is what the prophet was talking about. Moors, be yourself. To be yourself is to be Moorish American, a true nation of people bearing your one free national name. Our problem and our solution is getting our status established as Moorish American. You don't got to fill out paperwork. You ain't got to go to in front of no crowd of people and say, yeah, I'm a Moor now. You already a Moor. You was born a Moor from your mama and your father. You ain't got to go in front of no crowd of people to announce that you a Moor. You already a Moor. Let me show you who the other Moorish Americans are. The other Moorish Americans is the people over here in Hawaii, the people over here in Mexico, the people over here in Belize, Central America, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Cuba, Jamrock, Bahamas, Haiti, Dominicans, Tainos, Puerto Ricans. All these are Moorish Americans. People over here in St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent, Grenada. All these are Moorish Americans. Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil. All these are Moorish Americans. So it's time to get out of the box. It's time to get out of the death trap of saying, I'm a person of color. Yeah, I'm a black man. I'm a black woman. What the hell are you talking about? You call yourself a crayon color that you don't even match. And you think that shit sounds smart? That shit's stupid. And you talking about emotional damage. You tell somebody, how you calling yourself a crayon color that you don't match? Man, you can't tell me who I am. See, that's that cognitive dissonance. That's that Stockholm syndrome. We're not black. We are not this. And nobody is the color white. So what is this going to do for people? What is it going to do? Let me give it to you. What is it going to do? It say only nationals can claim the resources, natural and political, of their own land, their natural people, territories, and jurisdictions. The naturalized citizens, subjects, and aliens have abused the natural resources of the natural and primitive peoples to the point where the nation's economy is destroyed and collapsed. The universal remedy is nationalization. That's the universal remedy. You want a remedy, don't you? Or you want to stay in the misery? What you want to do? What you want to do? What you want to do, man? What you want to do? Can I ask y'all some questions real quick, though? Can I ask y'all some questions? What it say right here? It say, from the book, We Are Not Black. Just want to ask y'all some quick questions real quick. Just give me a minute of your time. Real quick. Real quick. Real quick. Can you prove that you're black? How? What makes you black? Pigmentation does not validate you as black because you're not the color of the speaker. What is your citizenship classification status as a black person? We just went over that. As a so-called black person, you're a subject. You're a subject. So I don't care how much you think that you're educated. You're a subject if you identify as a person of color, as a black man, as a black woman. You're at the bottom of the bottom by voluntary consent. You don't have human rights when you identify that as that. Islam, or your civiliter mortus. Bing bong. Are you receiving some type of reward or benefit as the result of being classified as black? So-called black people are classified as minorities, the mind of infants, and categorized in a subject citizen wardship status. So do you know what a ward is? So-called black man, so-called black woman, do you know what a ward is? Why do you think when people get locked up in the jail or the county or prison, why do you think they call them wardens? Because the warden's job is to monitor the minorities, the wards of jail. That's why they call it a warden. The warden is the guardian of the wards. This is why they can treat people with cruel and unusual punishment in so-called jail. Because your citizenship status is dead and you don't got human rights. This is why you never identify as a person of color. Melanated, black woman, black man. It's a death sentence. You a ward of the state. Who told you to identify yourself as black? How has being black, as it says, how was being classified as black established? Black does not identify with your lineage, bloodline, pedigree, or national identity. Black is not a term derived from Aboriginal language or culture. Do you realize? This guy, J.A. Rogers, picked this book up. Fire. Pick this book up. You know how this guy is one of these Pan-African dudes. Umar Johnson claims to be a doctor, right? He claims to be a doctor. So doctors, they have to have knowledge. In order to be a doctor, you have to be knowledgeable. How is it somebody who says that they're a doctor and they study psychology and they study history, how don't they know this information? Or is it that they're playing stupid to get donations from people trying to figure it out? The most ancient names for so-called black people are Nehisu or Nubian, Ethiopian, and more from ancient Egypt, which is the Americas, and Negro or Negrita from West Africa. We already went through this before now. We've already been through this before now. Ancient Egypt is in the Americas. So the most ancient words for so-called black people, quote unquote, is Moor or Nubian or Nehesu. Egypt is in the Americas. This is why we got so many Egyptian artifacts found in the Americas. I just put a video up about that today. Mesopotamia, Babylon, Assyria. Man, knock it off, man. You see Trump out here talking about he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico. Trump is not an American, but he's giving out signals to the Moorish Americans, the true Americans, about history. He can't just flat out tell people because people will bug up and start going crazy. So he got to give out little clues and shit. He got to give out little innuendos. He know what time it is. He know he ain't no American. The Egyptian Sea is right here. The so-called Gulf of Mexico is really the Egyptian Sea. All this information is coming out, fam. So you want to get ahead of the curve. You want to get ahead of the storm before it get here. If you out here talking about you're Hispanic, you're Latino, you're black, you're a person of color, you're a Hebrew, you're an American Indian, you better get ahead of the curve and drop that bullshit. Or you're going to be cooked out here. Straight up. By voluntary consent. Dead out here. Start getting your law up. Start getting your history up. The most ancient names for so-called black people are Moor, Nubian. What? Who you think the true Americans are? Who you think that the true Americans really are? We Moors, man. Point blank pig. We Moors. Ain't nothing else. Moorish Americans. Ain't nothing else. I mean, do you like these people using the black codes on our people? Do you like people putting a boot on your neck? Do you like people doing that? Because if you don't, then why would you stay in the person of color identity? It's voluntary. Nobody can tell you what to identify. You have the right to self-determination. Don't you know that's your blood? That's your birthright? That's your birthright. Your birthright is your right to self-determination. Look. Look, man. Look. This is your birthright. Hold up. This is your birthright. You need to see it. See? You need to see it. Don't worry about it. I got you. I got you, fam. You just need to see it. Once you see it, you ain't gonna be able to unsee it. Hold up. That's all. Once you see it, you ain't gonna be able to unsee it. Hold up. Man, I gotta. Where's this at? It's in here. Now when I want to find it, I can't see it. Hold up. Let me show you. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it, fam. You ain't gonna be able to unsee it. It's in your head now. You know what I'm saying? It's in your head now. Hold up. Bing bong. Let me show it to you right now. United Nations General Assembly. United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Do you see that? Ain't you indigenous? Ain't we indigenous to these lands? Ain't we indigenous to these lands? Huh? So since we're indigenous to these lands, you have to identify with the land. Look, right here. What does this say? Article 6. Every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality. This is the salvation. This is the missing link. It's not about the clothes you got on. It's not about the money that you got. That's not salvation. It's not going to happen like that. See? Article 4. Indigenous peoples in exercising their right to self-determination, have the right to autonomy or self-government in matters relating to their internal and local affairs, as well as ways and means for financing their autonomous functions. We talking about autonomous functions. We talking about self-government. We talking about self-determination. Nobody can make you say who you are. You got to know who you are. As a Moorish American, as a Moor. The reason why we say Moorish, look, one of the reasons why we say we're Moorish American, because when you say the word Moorish, just like you say the word Polish, Irish, just like you say those words, that ish is a connection. It's an all-encompassing. So Irish, they're from Ireland, right? Polish, they're from Poland. So when we say we're Moorish American, we're saying the entire Americas, Moorish, Moors living, dwelling, inhabiting the land of North, Central, South America, and all of the islands. That's why we're Moorish American. The Moorish is pertaining to all of the Moors that live in the Americas. That's why we're Moorish Americans. Irish. There's no such thing as an Irish American. Ireland is over there in Europe. There's no such thing as a European American. Have you ever heard that before? So if there's no such thing as a European American, how can it be a such thing as an African American? Oh my God. What? How could it be a such thing as an African American, a European American, a Chinese American, a Japanese American? That don't exist. Japan, Japanese. China, Chinese. Ireland, Irish. Africa, Africans. They don't even say they Africans. They talk about Ghana, Nigeria. They talk about Senegal, Botswana. They talk about Mozambique. They talk about Chad. They talk about all the places that are over there. There's no such thing as an African American or an Indian American. You see how everybody want to say they're American when they come over here? Because they playing the game. The game over with now. The game is cooked now. It's over with. Because all this information is being beamed out. That's why they want to shut down so-called TikTok. They want to shut that down. Because it's too much information getting out. People start to turn their phone on and get in tune like, damn, I learned more on TikTok than I learned in school. I learned more in the book than I learned in school. See? This is why they got these unconstitutional censors. They trying to censor free speech. A violation of the Constitution. Imagine somebody telling you, hey, in order for you to talk, you need to buy a license. Yeah. Oh my God. That's the same thing they doing with the Second Amendment. Check it out. They say in the Second Amendment, we have the right to keep and bear arms. And those rights shall not be infringed. Why will we need a license to keep and bear arms when the Second Amendment already says in there, which is a constitutionally protected right, that we don't need a license? You see, license is legalese. It's color of law. It's unconstitutional. Booby trap. If somebody was to tell you, hey, you know you need a license to talk, right? You need a license to practice a religion, right? You need that now. The U.S. corporation come up with some kind of mandate. They like, hey, look here. If you want to practice your religion, if you want to talk from now on, you got to buy these credits and put them on your account. Then you could talk. You know how crazy it'd be? You know how people just bug up instantly? If they start doing that, that's why they playing the game. You see? Our First Amendment is the freedom of speech, religion, the press, to peaceably assemble, and to bring a grievance to the so-called government. That's the First and Second Amendment. But see, they kind of laxed. They kind of laxed on the First Amendment as far as social media. Then when the truth start getting up there, then when these goof-ass fact checkers got on there, now they like, nah. No, that's too much information. The fact checkers came back and said that you was giving out false information. Who are you? Fact checkers. That's how you know when something's strong and something real, when the so-called fact checkers, when they pull that goof ass up and then be like, yeah, the fact checker said your information went against community standards and guidelines. Goof ass. Looking ass. This is what they be on, though. This is what they be on. But what's the solutions, though? The solutions is recognizing your nationality, your birthright, recognizing and exercising your human rights, your Aboriginal Indigenous rights. That's the solution. Otherwise, you could say you a person of color, you a Negro, color person, you a black person, you a Hispanic, you a Latino, you playing them games, you in the trap, G. What trap you in? Look, real quick before I move around. Let me show you the trap that you agreeing to. You agreeing to the trap that this guy agreed to. Dred Scott. You agreeing to be in that trap right there. What he talking about? Hold up. What dude talking about? What buddy talking about? Hold up. What buddy talking about? Let's go right here. Oh yeah. Let's go right here. Buddy talking about right here. Buddy talking about right here. So when you say, well, what are the slave codes and what are they doing? Slave codes regulated free so-called blacks. According to the slave codes and black codes, so-called black could not assemble on their own, become literate, speak freely, or testify against so-called white people in court. What? Sound like today, right? These codes and regulations culminated in the Dred Scott decision of 1857. Hold up. This shit is getting spooky. The Dred Scott decision determined that so-called blacks, whether free or slave, could not be American citizens and therefore had no standing in federal court. Damn. But you still want to identify as a so-called black person and think you standing on business? You still think that you identifying as a black man or a black woman, you think you standing on business. You dead out here. You in a booby trap. You better let that ego, you better curve that ego. Educated black man, educated black woman, you better start curving that ego, because you don't even realize you voluntarily consenting to be in the slave codes to this day. To this day. On some Deontay Wilder shit. To this day, you still in the slave codes. So keep playing around. What it say though? It say Jim Crow laws. Hold up. It say Jim Crow laws or segregation for so-called black people impose separate and inferior conditions on the so-called black minority, which brought about institutionalized economic, political, and social disadvantages. What? Disadvantages which are still prevalent today. Therefore, it is no wonder that since slavery, so-called black men in general have been referred to as boy, and in the most derogatory sense, regardless of age, maturity, or the attainment a scholastic achievement. They don't care if you graduated college. The U.S. corporation slave codes don't care about your education. They don't care about the income that you making, the bread you making. Because they're going by, do you honor your ancestors or not? Do you honor them by agreeing to be what they call theyself, Moors? Or are you saying that you a black person? You a person of color. You want to be that, huh? Oh, that's what you want to be? Okay. So they know automatically you in dishonor. They automatically know, man, put her ass in the slave codes. Put her in there. Cause she cocky, she arrogant, he cocky, throw him in jail, lock him up. You ain't got human rights, man. You ain't got human rights, fam. Be yourself. In order to be yourself, though, you gotta know yourself. You gotta know enough to know that you ain't Negro, black, or colored. Know that. You say, the reducing of Moors to morons continues today. So-called blacks still bear the brunt of this socio-political classification and within the jurisdiction of the United States and are considered a boy nation or morons under the caste labels of Negro, black, and colored, mulatto, Indian, etc. The only solution to get out of that is nationality. It's the only solution. It's the only solution. You know, it's the only solution. It's getting wild outside. You seeing the fires outside. You seeing the floods outside. Hey, you better get in tune. You better get in tune with this. This is why these so-called black miseducators ain't never gonna show these documents off. Ask yourself right now. Why ain't none of these NAACP, Black Lives Matter people, Indian people, why ain't they ever showed the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples? If they all saying they indigenous, then why don't they pull this document out? Why don't they do that? Because they know once they do that, they're in the headlock. They're in the cobra clutch. Because in order to initiate this, you gotta have this. You gotta have a nationality. You gotta have that. Without this, you can't initiate this. This is why they don't never talk about it. They just call our people melanated. Melanated. Goof ass. Pan-Africanism. Fuck on. That shit is a death trap. No damn Pan-African, nigga. It's a death trap. You ain't got no human rights as no Pan-African. Where the hell is Pan-Africa at anyway? That don't even exist. Pan-Africa don't even exist. Nigga talking about he Pan-African. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Get your goof ass on. That don't even exist. Share this beam out. This is what they don't want to talk about. But it's up now. It's over with. It's up now. It's up now. It's up now. It's up now. Keep watching. Just keep watching though. Noble Drew Ali's prophecies and hadiths are coming true every day. Every day. All you gotta do is pay attention. And you know what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is pay attention. You will see it. It's literally hidden in plain sight, fam. It's right in front of your eyeballs. All you gotta do is pay attention and know what you're looking for. The Negro, the black and the colored people and the Hispanics and all that, those ain't nationalities. Ask you this. Have you ever seen an Asian get gunned down in the street by the police? Have you ever seen that in your life? Have you ever seen a Palestinian, somebody from Iran? Have you ever seen them get gunned down in the street, reload the clip, and just bust off? Have you ever seen that in your life? In your life? Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen somebody from Korea, China, Japan? Have you ever seen that happen? Have you ever seen somebody from Hindustan just get gunned down in the street like a so-called black person. Somebody who identify as a person of color. Have you ever seen that? You only see it with people who misidentify as persons of color. Think about it. Let that go. Let that run around your mind a little while. Never seen it. I've never seen it. I've never seen that before. I just see people who look like me and you. Copper complexion, dark complexion, bronze complexion. I just see our people get killed in the street. I ain't never seen them. I ain't never seen that happen to them in the streets by the police. The police job is to grab, detain, arrest, incarcerate 86, 87 so-called persons of color. Because persons of color is the code word for slave. Persons of color is the code word for slaves. And Slave Patrol's job is to grab so-called persons of color and do them dirty. That's their job. That's what their origin is. This ain't my opinion. This is what it is. This is what it is. Don't take my word on nothing. I'm showing you the book so you can get the book and read it yourself. Read it yourself. Read it yourself then. I'm showing you the book so you can get it yourself. Read it yourself, fam. You know what I'm saying? But I'm finna move around, though. Let me show y'all these books, though. Let's go. Show y'all these books, though. Let's go. Yeah. Shout out to the Beat Nuts. Get them screenshots. Get them screenshots. Yes, sir. Shout out to Milwaukee. Yeah. Share this beam out. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh. Let's go. Let's go. Rise of the Moors, man. Let's go. You know it's the rise of the Moors, fam. That's all it is. 4th edition, Black's Law. Yeah. So, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Is this flag right here on your wall? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice? This flag should be on your wall. Start rapping. Start letting people know you Moorish American. Start letting people know this your birthright. Put your turban on. Tie your shamag up. Put your fez on. This is what it's about. Each one teach one. Ryan, what's up with you, man? Each one teach one. Teach your children. Teach your nieces. Teach your nephews. Teach your loved ones, because it's about to get real crazy outside. So share light, share information with your people that's operating as your people and not pretenders. Go where you appreciate it, fam. Go where you celebrate. Don't go around people that's on some, you a friend of me. Nah. Go where you appreciate it, not where you tolerate it. All right? Much love. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, though. Each one teach one. I self-law and master. Much love.